Well, hello, friends. I hope you're having a great day today. I hope that you're believing God is going to do awesome things throughout the entire day today as you walk with Him. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of Take 5. Well, hey, I didn't preach Sunday, but I just kind of felt compelled to talk to you about distractions this week. There's danger in distractions. We've got to make sure that we don't let minor things in this life get us off course with God or cause us to miss the purpose that we have. We read a pretty lengthy passage yesterday that I'm not going to read all of it again, but I will read that last verse. Paul said, "I'm saying this for your benefit, not to place restrictions on you. I want you to do whatever will help you serve the Lord the best with as few distractions as possible." We cannot afford to be distractions. Distractions are the things that are trying to divert our mind in a different direction that it should be. They are the things that stir up and confuse us with conflicting emotions. Distractions are the things that preoccupies or diverts our attention. Distractions are anything that contends for your attention, your allegiance, or your affection. And these things are contending for our attention, trying to draw us away from our purpose of serving God. So really, all of that we read yesterday, in short, that just really means that distractions are basically the minor issues of this life. Now, they can be major, but most of the times of distraction is a minor thing until you put your full attention on it, and then it becomes a major thing. Distractions are the minor things of this world that take our attention off of God and off of our divine purpose. So the Bible tells us the way to remedy that is to set our affections on things above and not on things on this earth. Set our attention there. Set our focus there, and then we can guard against this. Now, when we read this passage, the very first verse that we read, 1 Corinthians 7:29, said this. Paul said, "But this I say, brothers, the time is short." Now, when you say that, what's he talking about? The time is short. Short to what? Well, he's actually referring to two things. Number one, he's talking about the length of our lives that remain. And number two, he's talking about the time that remains before the return of the Lord. That time is short. Our lives are short. The time to the return of the Lord is short. And we can't afford to waste time being distracted. So today we need to understand that distractions have everything to do with wasting time that is important, that we need to use to fulfill God's will for our life and build the kingdom. Our lives are brief. Even if we live 100 years, we can't afford to let the devil steal one moment away from us. And as far as that goes, what's 100 years to God? He's been here throughout eternity. He always has been. He always will be. 100 years is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. And if we're not careful, distractions will cause us to waste 100 years of time that we have been given, and we will not fulfill the purpose God has for us. I'm nearly 50 years old. I'm almost half a century. And I have to stop and ask myself from time to time, how many distractions have I allowed to keep me from doing everything that God wanted me to do? And not only am I dealing with the fact that my life is short, but we're dealing with the fact that the return of the Lord is imminent. It could be at any moment, so we cannot afford to let any distraction take time away from us. James 4:14 says our life is like a vapor. It appears just for a minute and then it's gone. It's like a vapor. And it's gone. Just like that. There it is. That's what our life is like. So we can't allow distractions to take away from that limited time that we have. The passage that we read in 1 Corinthians tells us that we should place spiritual priorities ahead of earthly priorities, and that we should not allow the things of this world to distract us from our divine purpose. There's several others that allude to that as well, that talk about this dilemma of time that we get ourselves in because we give in to distractions so easily. Listen to what several of these passages say. Ephesians 5, he says, "Therefore awake, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine upon you and give you light. Look carefully then how you walk. Live purposefully, not distracted and wastefully. Live purposefully and worthily and accurately, not as the unwise and witless, but as wise, sensible, and intelligent people, making the most of your time, buying up each opportunity because the days are evil. We can't afford to waste one on a distraction. Not one moment can we wait. Colossians chapter 4, verse number 5. Behave yourselves wisely in your relations with those of the outside world, making the very most of the time and seizing every opportunity. Do you understand what he's saying? Don't be distracted. Paul's plea here is for the church to live consistent Christian lives in front of the world. We cannot allow anything to distract us from our faith in Christ and ruin our testimony in front of the world. We can't afford that. And that's exactly what distractions want to do. My friend, Jesus is soon to return, and we don't have time to let anything or anyone distract us from the work God has called us to do. We can let nothing get us off course with our faith, off course with our purpose, and off course with the plan that God has for our life. We can't be distracted by anything. We just simply don't have the time to waste. I want to go to our text that we read yesterday, and I want to read about the last 4 verses from the New Living Translation and kind of make it a little shorter than we did the other day. But I want you to listen to the main thought in all of this when it concerns this issue of time that we are talking about today. Beginning at verse 30, he said, "Those that weep should not be absorbed by their weeping. Those who rejoice should not be absorbed by their rejoicing. Those who buy things should not be absorbed by their possessions." Did you hear? There's nothing wrong with weeping and grieving. There's nothing wrong with rejoicing. There's nothing wrong with buying possessions and owning possessions. He says, don't be absorbed by them. They will become a distraction to you. Those who use the things of the world should not become attached to them, for the world as we know it will soon pass away. There's that time issue again. Paul says, I want you to be free from the concerns of life that you may serve the Lord without distraction. So here it is in a nutshell. We really don't have time. Our life is like a vapor. Remember this. Boom, now it's gone. That's our life, and it's over. And distractions will steal the majority of the time that we have if we do not keep our focus on God. So we can't afford to waste time on troubles, trials, victories, rewards, material possessions, or anything else. God's greater than all of these. And it's time that we let the devil know we're not going to be distracted. We're not going to be detoured. We're not going to be devoured. We are going to accomplish what God has called us to do, and we will not be hindered by distractions. Well, hey, I got to get out of here, friend. I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Wednesday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day. Remember, friend, don't waste one moment. Don't be distracted by one moment. We only have a limited supply of time. Let's use it the best that we can for the glory of our God.